desperation with the cost of energy, particularly electricity, and that's why I want to get the same deal for Ottawa that Cornwall has to buy our hydro from Quebec. I'm hearing countless complaints about the tax burden that's been imposed by the City of Ottawa and the desire that Mr. Watson has to continue to increase that tax burden. And it's just, as I've said many times, we have to start the budget by saying there's no more left to give. There's simply no more left to give. And that's a real concern for people who may, in fact, support climate change mitigation or adaptation, but they just have to get through the next day, the next week, the next month first. I'm also hearing all kinds of concerns about transit, not particularly in terms of climate change as much as I'm stuck in gridlock and I want to get home to my family. And if we give these people an option, if we give them an option to get out of their cars and get into a commuter rail service, not only are they getting home quicker, they're resolving some of the problems we have with transit in the city, on the arterial roads and on the Queensway. And lastly, I want to see a comprehensive waste management plan that includes high-efficiency incineration so that we don't have to go and borrow $300 million sometime in the near future to do another landfill. I don't ever want to see another landfill in Ottawa. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, next question, please. And we are running out of time, so just try to keep it brief to 30 seconds.
Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm a native to Ottawa. I recently arrived back here after my university education in Guelph, where I studied organic agriculture. While I was living there, I took part in a lot of urban agriculture initiatives in that city. Got to indulge in inner city chickens, my 3 lovely nuggets. Also got to hang out with a bunch of my friends' rabbits and goats that live within the city boundaries. I'm curious to know what your opinion is specifically with urban livestock, but also what other kind of initiatives you're looking or could potentially look into with regarding to bylaw policies with urban food production, condominiums specifically, but also what kind of projects you might be interested in looking into to maybe emulate some cities in British Columbia or something like Lufa Farms in Montreal, which is a large-scale urban greenhouse on the roofs of industrial areas. Thank you.
Some interesting ideas. I haven't heard of the one in Montreal. I'd certainly like to look into that. I don't support having livestock in the urban core. I think there's a place for chickens and goats and so on, and quite frankly, if I had a neighbor who had all of that livestock next to me and I live in a suburban community, I wouldn't be too happy in terms of the noise and disruption and so on. So, sorry, I don't support that. I think there are some things that we can do, and we have done as a city. Our farmers market program is expanded beyond anyone's belief in terms of the number of community farmers markets that are in every part of this city, and that's something the city has encouraged and helped to fund. The community gardens and allotment gardens, we've seen an explosion of those in the last couple of years as well, and I'd like to see that grow even farther because I think there's a great partnership that can be made between the agricultural community, 4-H clubs, and the urban park environment to grow more fruits and vegetables. I like some of the great innovative programs, the program where we've given permission for groups to go and collect all the different nuts that are around. Someone remind me the name of that?
Hidden Harvest.
What is it?
Hidden Harvest.
Hidden Harvest, which is a fantastic program. I don't know if you're aware of that, which goes around and collects some of these various nuts that are around the city on city trees and private property, and makes products and sells them and gives a portion back to charity. I think that's a great idea.
Mr. McGuire, allotment gardens. I love the idea of allotment gardens in an urban setting, and expansion of allotment gardens is A-okay with me. I love the idea of rooftop greenhouses. The city can get out of the way from a planning perspective. I don't think the city would use any tax incentives to take an involvement in that. But if your question is, do I support rooftop greenhouses and the implementation of such, absolutely, it's a cool idea. Rabbits downtown, I don't have a big deal with rabbits. Chickens, nope, chickens smell. And goats are the devil's own invention.
Okay, the guy said it. Okay, Mr. Sayed.
I think I will divide my answer into 2 portions. One portion is within the metro of Ottawa. I think that's a no to have chickens, goats, or rabbits. I think it is going to create nuisance for the neighbors. But if you have a land which is away from the city, like a 1-acre land, and you want to raise your own poultry or your goats or your rabbits, I think without bothering the neighbors. I think that's a very good idea of having your own ecological system within your land, which is more than an acre. My background is that my grandfather was a veterinary doctor and my father was a dairy farmer. So I grew up among the goats, chickens, and the milk and the cows. So I understand that it's very nice to have that, but as long as we don't do it within the city limits of Metro Ottawa, I'm okay with that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm going to have to be the bearer of bad news. We have to respect the time limits, unfortunately. It is now 10 to 9, and this debate is scheduled for 2 hours, and we want to respect the candidates' time. They may or may not be able to stay afterwards, I'm not sure, to answer some of your questions personally. We also have to respect, of course, this is being televised, and so we have limitations there. So we are going to now proceed with our closing remarks, and we're going to do this. It's just to remind the candidates, it's 2 minutes, and we'll go in reverse order from the opening remarks. So we